Pop quiz, hotshot. What is perhaps the most obscure and least understood of the biblical holidays? I'll give you a hint. Its name is 5 to 6 syllables long, which means I can't even do that lame Gesundheit joke. Greetings, Hero Design, your friendly neighborhood rabbi, and I'm here today to talk to you about Shemini Atzeret. Shemini Atzeret is a biblical holiday that takes place at the end of Sukkot. And we know it's biblical because it's in the Bible. It's in Leviticus chapter 23, about verse 36, I'd say. But before we jump in and you become the most informed of your Jewish friends about Shemini Atzeret, I want to make certain that you know that if you're just finding one of my videos for the first time, this particular video is part of a 31-day fall Jewish holiday challenge. It's kind of a learning series that I put together about the holidays of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, a little leading up to that, other stuff happening after that, and everything in between. You can find out more about it by clicking on the first link you see in the show notes below. If you do, you'll be able to download a 2-page guide to all the major Jewish holidays this year, plus you'll get links to all 31 of the videos in this series. But enough about that. I want to take this opportunity to make sure you know more than anybody you know about Shemini Atzeret. In a previous video, we talked a little bit about Sukkot and how we are commanded to have a festival for 7 days, and it shall be a day of no work on the first day and a day of no work on the 8th day. And you're like, nah, it's a 7-day festival. How do we not do work on the 8th day? I'll tell you how. In Sefer Vayikra, or the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 36, it says, "For 7 days you shall bring a burnt offering to God, and on the 8th day will be a day of assembly, and you'll have a day of complete rest, and no work shall be done." And the word it uses for assembly is atzeret. Fun fact, this word atzeret is related to otzer, which is like a treasury or a storehouse. The word otzer milim is Hebrew for dictionary, like a treasury of words. So it's almost like treasure day, but it really means a day of gathering in things that are precious. And the midrash on this is that God has so enjoyed our company for the festival days of Sukkot. It's like a king who invites his children to visit with him for a certain period of time, and on the last day, the day they're supposed to leave, he's like, can I have one more day just for me? So this is like the high holidays long goodbye, because our company is precious to God like a treasure. So that's the word atzeret. Shemini means 8th, as in the 8th day. So Shemini Atzeret means the 8th day of assembly. You have a 7-day holiday and then a different day tacked on at the end, which makes it look like Sukkot lasts longer than it does, but technically Shemini Atzeret is a separate holiday from Sukkot. So it's a day you can take off work and you'll have festival-like celebrations in your synagogue, but it's not really Sukkot anymore, it's its own day. So you don't have to sit in the sukkah. If there's anything remaining of your lulav and etrog, you don't need those anymore. It's its own day. So this holiday doesn't have like a hut, it doesn't have anything you wave, there's no special like Shemini Atzeret dish, unless you get like an 8-pack of Krembo, which I highly recommend. That's it, I just coined that. The official food of Shemini Atzeret is an 8-pack of Krembo, a lovely Israeli dessert. I get no money from the Krembo people, but I am going to put a link to what a Krembo is in the show notes below. But there is one unique feature to the services of Shemini Atzeret, and that is Geshem. Geshem is this special prayer that's added to the Musaf Amidah, the second Amidah of the festival morning service. And this is a prayer for rain. As you probably notice, a lot of our holidays are patterned around the agricultural cycle of the ancient Near East. And that climate in and around Israel is very much like the climate of Southern California, which means you can grow a lot of food there, except most of the year it doesn't rain at all. And if it were to rain, that would be terribly inconvenient. It would wash stuff away. So you don't pray for rain until after harvest, and then you start praying for rain. And it's that rain that happens after harvest time that waters the soil and enables you to grow crops for the next year. And so throughout the winter and early spring, when we are saying this prayer, the Amidah, or standing prayer, there is this line we add, Mashifa Ruach U'Marit Hagashem, where we speak of God as one who makes wind blow and rain fall. And we only have that addition from Shemini Atzeret until the beginning of Passover. And we mark the beginning of that insertion of the prayer by this Geshem service as a part of the Amidah, the second Amidah on the morning service of Shemini Atzeret. So if you're at Shemini Atzeret services, and I highly recommend it, and you're like, oh cool, it's Musaf Amidah time, but why is this dude putting on a white coat and saying stuff that I've never heard before? Often during this service, the person leading prayers will put on a kittel, which is like a long white garment, as we appeal to God for rain for the first time of the year. And the beginning of the Amidah has a long liturgical piece about the quality of rain and how much we need it in our lives. So that's Shemini Atzeret for you. It is the 8th day of assembly. Depending on how you observe it, is either the last day of the fall Jewish holidays or the last 2 days of the fall Jewish holidays. But it's not quite the end, because next time we're going to talk about Simchat Torah, or rejoicing in the Torah. And that will be the end of the holiday season. But more about that next time. For now, I invite you to click on the first link you see in the show notes below to get connected to the 31 video Fall Jewish Holiday Challenge, to get your downloadable guide to all the major Jewish holidays, plus links to 31 videos about the fall holidays. Or you can get the same thing by clicking on the orange square over here so that you can learn all about these holidays, have a more meaningful experience, and a joyful experience with your community. Until then, hero, peace. And we know it's biblical because it's in the Bible. Hamana wah!